Okay, here we go. So welcome everybody. Everybody just get relaxed a little bit. And I want to start by reading one of my favorite quotes from Marcel Proust that says the following. It says, "The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes." The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Looking at the world with new eyes. So I wanted to tell you a story that's connected to that. There were two men that were in some kind of facility for people that were very infirm, Charles and Harry. And Charles's bed was near the window, and Harry's bed was near the door. And every single day, Charles would give wonderful descriptions about what he saw outside his window. So in the spring, he'd talk about seeing all the birds building their nests and the flowers blossoming, or perhaps he'd see a young mother walking with a carriage. And in the summertime, he'd talk about seeing the, just everything was in full bloom and beautiful in the fall. He'd talk about the trees and how the leaves had changed, and in the winter about how the ice had crystallized on the treetops. And so every single day, Charles gave Harry a running commentary, and he shares how beautiful the world is outside. And I was quoting from this little story, and how he can't wait to get outside again in the sunshine and the fresh air. And Harry, he envies Charles because Harry is by the door. He's not by the window. He wants to be able to see all these beautiful things outside as well. So the story goes, I'm just going to read a little bit. It says, on a Thursday morning, Harry wakes up to find Charles's bed is empty. And he rings for the morning nurse, and who shares with him that unfortunately Charles had passed away during the night. So Harry, of course, is very, very saddened by the news, but then he says, you know what? Since Charles is no longer by the window, I want to go to the window as well. I want to be by the window and see all these amazing things that Charles described for me every single day. So can my bed be moved next to the window? And they say, yes, of course it can. So he wants to experience all the beauty of life that Charles has been speaking about. So the nurse moves his bed next to the window, and all he sees is a cement wall. Just a cement wall. He's very, very confused. So how could Charles see all this beauty, and yet he's looking out on a cement wall? So he questions the nurse, and she says, oh yes, Charles was blind. Charles was blind. So he says all the beauty and the small wonders of life that he shared with Harry lived in his inner world, filled with awe, wonder, and new eyes every single day. So he was just creating things from memory, and his memory was very, very vivid of how beautiful the world was. So the idea is that, thank God, hopefully all of us have good vision. So what can we do to be able to be like Charles and see the world with such beauty and color and splendor? So there's a concept, which I think I might have mentioned to you, and it was actually done by the Memory and Aging Center. I'm just reading this from the University of California, where they spoke to seniors who would go on walks, and they said, look at everything with fresh, childlike eyes. So wherever you go, whether you're walking, let's say you're walking in the park, you suddenly pay attention, and I'd say fresh ears too. You hear the birds chirping, you hear all the sounds. When you begin to, and we've done this in our meditation class, when you begin to pay attention to sounds and sights and smells, suddenly things become much more vivid. So even as I'm talking now, I suddenly hear the birds chirping. I hear a little bit of wind blowing. And a lot of times if I'm looking out my window, if I just walk by and look at my window, I really don't see anything. But if I look more closely with that kind of beginner's mind, with those new eyes, like I'll see that the branch is moving from the wind. I'll suddenly start seeing birds. I'll suddenly see squirrels. I might see some children playing. So that's really what we're talking about. So what Marcel Proust was saying, getting back to that quote, the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. So I'd say especially during this time of COVID, where so many of us have really not traveled, many of us have been in our houses, or if we've actually gone anywhere, we've been very, very local, that this is an ideal opportunity for you to just go out in your neighborhood. You could wear your mask if you want, or you should wear your mask. But even though your mouth is masked, have your ears attentive and open, have your eyes open and attentive, and your nose open to all the smells, and really begin to experience life like Charles. Not like Harry, who sees nothing, but like Charles, who sees all the beauty in the world. And you don't have to go very, very far to do it. So that's really the practice, and they've even given it a name. They've called it an awe walk, A-W-E, walk with awe. And you might also even want to, let's say, walk very slowly and feel how your feet, what they feel like on different surfaces. Are you walking on grass? Are you walking on gravel? Are you walking on cement? So that all your senses experience things as if you were experiencing them for the first time. So that's really what I wanted to speak with you about. And I hope you give it a try this week. We're only on Monday, so you have a whole week to experiment with this and see things with new eyes, fresh eyes, beginner's mind, whatever you want to call it. But it's not, as Proust said, it's not seeking new landscapes, it's having a new set of eyes. And all the more so if you go someplace new, wow, you could really open yourself up and see it. So I'm going to end this now, though I'll continue talking, but I'm going to end the video. And I'm doing this unassisted today, and then we can open up for some comments. So give me 1 minute.